Chapter 5, we're flying! Hello! Here we are sitting on our somewhat floating ship, and we have a few tasks ahead of us this week. Let's see what we can get done. Hopefully, we can get the sails on the ship and the pink section of the uphouse finished. We'll see though what happens. After all, this is our time for adventuring. Time to see if our plans become the adventure or if we discover something new in the meantime. Without further delay, let's kick off this week with some progress. Let's get the railings in place so that we are safer on the ship. The bit that I'm working on now is the hole into the hull of the ship. What I am making is a little cabin on the deck of the ship, and that will be where the staircase down into the hull of the ship is. We are facing it this way because the plan is to eventually put bunks in the back section of the ship so that the back is for the crew, and then we can have bulk storage or a gaming area in the middle, and at the front of the ship is for the animals. It is just a rough plan for now. We will see also if we need to decide if we need to stash anything here, like cannons on the ship, or I don't know, a canopy. Ah, cherry saplings. You see that. I reckon you don't know what they're for. The cherry saplings are connected to this that I'm doing now. What is that, you might ask? Well, this is the figuring out stage of where the masts are going to go for the sails. I'm building up where I think they should go to see if it will fit the ship well. I'm going to do 3 masts. I tossed up doing 2, but 3 is more traditional. Tradition is good to have, and you got to keep it because it is comfortable. There is time to experiment, but comfort is also nice to have. Now, if you remember last week, I said it would be nice to have cherry leaves somewhere on the ship so that we have a nice petals floating down on our heads. Well, this is the idea that I had. Instead of doing something completely opaque or solid, I chose leaves for the sails. And they're a nice middle ground. Plus, we get that nice slight breeze from the petals falling down. While building this, I realized that straightness is not acceptable. This then caused me to try some different shapes with the sails. In the end, I think that it all turned out alright. The bottom have smaller bows and the top curls in. On the top of some of them, I even made the connecting points on the sail to have gaps. Like the rigging is letting some of the wind escape to ease the pressure of the masts. Speaking about the masts, I know that they are not finished yet, and that is because the plan that we have for each one of them. The initial idea is to have a few big balloons and having some automatic farms in those. Now the idea is to have 3 big balloons and have a farm in each one of them. Mob farm in one, cactus reed, etc. in another, and the last one blank for now. Still, the goal of this world is to get as many resources as possible and to see what we can make of it. I'm hoping to keep going with this world initially. I said a few weeks, but I have some big ideas that could turn out interesting. We'll stay here for now. The mast though is what is the plan. They are going to turn into hoppers. We will cover them by trapdoors, and that way we can get the loot down from the balloons of each farm we have and store them in the hull of the ship. That is all for now though with the sails. What a good looking thing though, and the gentle petals falling down gives it a nice gentle breeze feeling. Since collecting all the leaves for the sails require me to get a ton of cherry trees, I have a ton of cherry wood, and I can use that wood to finish off the back wall of the house. The pink wool is in. I do need to do a bit of touching up around the windows and a fair bit on the roof as well, so let's get that done next. Not next. I have another idea in mind. I want to mine the OneBlock. However, I'm hoping that by putting this hopper on the bottom, it will pick up the items that I mine automatically, allowing my inventory not to get clogged. Fingers crossed that it will work. So, it does work, but not all the time. Sometimes it does not pick up the block, other times it does. 50% is better than none at all, so I will keep it and even add a chest to the bottom for more storage. After all, the only thing left to do is mine the OneBlock. Well, not the only thing, but since I mined the OneBlock and thought about what I should get done next, I took a look around and realized that the house needs a bit of touching up. There's a lot that should get done, but the first two things that I'm going to do is get the roof better looking by fixing it up and adding smoother transitions to the bits of the roof. The second one is on the underside, and that is cleaning up the outside border, which I use as a template and to build on. Since removing the border leaves it open, I thought that adding some items under it to mimic piping could add to the look of the bottom side of the house. As I finished off the house, I came to the end of the cobblestone area. Then I thought, to myself, we should remove the staircase and make a better looking path to the house. I want this path to be nice and thin and not to take too much room. First thought was to make it out of trapdoors, so I started. And then this happened. You see? Let's look again. Oh, maybe again in slow motion. Yeah, whatever. I gave up on the idea and I made a new idea to make it out of fences and put carpet on the top. That way it will be more safe. Dangerous, yes, but safe. I still use trapdoors for the area where the ladders will be attached to. This will keep it looking thin and slick. The one annoying thing about my death is the tools that I lost. So I will need to replace them eventually. For now though, let's get on with some other stuff. I went into the house to look at what to do next and found these guys here as zombies. This is really annoying, but it's fine. I can just heal them up. Since adding the new wall and fixing the roof, there must be some dark spots in the house where a zombie got in. Now, finally, I can remove the cobble pathway. It is weird trying to get used to going to a different pathway to go to the house, but hopefully I'll get used to it soon. This especially comes to mind with the new project I want to start doing. But take a minute to look at the ship with the sails. It looks fantastic, especially with the new pathway subtly in the background. The new project now. Well, it's not really a new project. It's more of an addition to the house. I'm going up to the roof and busting this particular area out. I'm also pillaring up right here. Hopefully you know what this is. If not, then I'll tell you. The up house goes up by using balloons, and these balloons are tethered to the house. So I'm starting to place said balloons. This would just be a facade. The inside will be empty or somewhat empty. I hope to eventually put an iron farm in the inside, but the balloons first, and let's super build it. This is where I ran out of wool. But before I finish off for this week, I used the last colors of wool that I had to make them into carpets. Then I went ahead and laid these carpets on top of the wool inside. This is to prevent the mobs from spawning. Once that task was done, I was ready to take a break for the weekend, but I thought to myself, I have time for one more job. The final job was to add a bit of brick for the chimney. This is also in preparation for what comes next. We're not going to have things not fall, but rise out of the chimney, but fall into the chimney. Instead, those things will be iron golems, and then we can harvest the iron for our other projects. But that is all for now. I will look forward to seeing you next week, and fingers crossed we get some projects finished. That's all for now. Have a good one, and goodbye.